The year is 1904. Three men, Dorabji Tata, Shapurji Saklatwala and C.M. Weld, have set off on a journey. Starting from Bombay, they're on a mission. A Parsi industrialist has sent them to Bihar province and asked them to find a suitable site for an iron factory. Bihar was on their radar because it was rich in iron, coal, limestone and water. Their prospector believed that the nation which gains control of iron soon acquires control of gold. Invigorated by this vision and after scouting for 3 years, these three men reached an unremarkable village called Sakchi in the Chota Nagpur hills. The village was isolated, surrounded by brushwood and jungle. The confluence of the Subarnarekha and Karkhai rivers was close by. This place just made sense. The three wise men realized that this is the place where they can fulfill a big dream, the dream to become the steel powerhouse of the Indian industry. Welcome to A Century of Stories, brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank. Always you first. I'm Kunal Vijayakar, and this is the story of Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur. The name resonates. It represents a milestone in the story of industrialization. It suggests efficiency and care. It reminds you of steel. It brings up images of planned parks, clean streets, and drinking water. But come to think of it, a century ago, this was just a small isolated village. Jamsetji Tata passed away in 1904 after expressing his wishes to these three wise men. He had left instructions to build a dream town, a town that was built from scratch by his company and named Tatanagar. His instructions were clear. Be sure to lay wide streets planted with shady trees, every other of a quick-growing variety. Be sure that there is plenty of space for lawns and gardens. Reserve large areas for football, hockey and parks. Earmark areas for Hindu temples, Muslim mosques and Christian churches. In 1905, the Tatas applied for a prospecting license. British officials presented their report, and in the same year, the Maharaja of Mayurbhanj granted the prospecting license at the selected location to the Tatas. Along with that, Tata Iron and Steel Company also acquired the land of 18 villages in and around Sakchi, forming the skeleton of an upcoming company town. Work to build the Tatanagar steel plant started in 1908. Hundreds of workers gathered to clear over 8 square kilometers of the forest so that a factory spanning 7.91 square kilometers could be built. A total of 1,954 acres. 4 years later, the first steel ingot of the Tata Iron and Steel Company, or TISCO, rolled out of the foundry. This was perfect timing because the First World War started in 1914. The British had massive requirements of iron and steel to feed the ongoing war, and soon they became extremely dependent on TISCO. There were a lot of shells to be made, carriage wheels to be crafted, and railway compartments to be constructed. Grateful for the contribution, Governor General Lord Chelmsford renamed the town Jamshedpur in 1919. This was in honor of Jamshedji Tata, the visionary industrialist and philanthropist. There was something very unique about this town. It was owned by a private corporation. How does that work, and why is Jamshedpur different? Here's a fun fact. Till 1998, Jamshedpur was the only city in India with a population of over 1 million, but without a government. No, seriously. The Tatas have controlled every aspect of life in Jamshedpur with interesting results. They provided education, healthcare, infrastructure, employment, housing, electricity, everything that the citizens of this town needed to have a good life. Jamshedpur managed to give a quality of life that even government-run towns in India couldn't. How did they do this? Well, they formed a whole new company called Jamshedpur Utilities and Services Company Limited, or JISCO, just to cater to the citizens of Jamshedpur. Anyone who has ever lived in Jamshedpur or any other company-owned town knows how they work. The company, in this case Tata, is paramount. It is the Mai Baap, the Annadata. It may be benevolent or stingy, but everyone who lives in or around it is somehow connected to the company. It is a sense of community like no other. Steel built the backbone of industrial India across the private and public sector. And company towns like Jamshedpur have played a big role in this growth story. Petrochemicals, refineries and chemicals also played a massive role in India's development. Bhilai is another example. It was set up in 1959 by Steel Authority of India Limited, or SAIL. Today, Bhilai is a major manufacturer of India's rail lines. Take Boy Refinery in Assam. In 1869, teams laying railway lines noticed oil on the feet of work elephants. They found oil seeping out of the ground. A Canadian engineer, W.L. Lake, saw this and screamed, "Dig, boy, dig!" Today, Dig Boy is the oldest operational oil refinery in Asia. A successful company town cannot exist only for itself. It must be able to include the surrounding population in its endeavors. Mere trickle-down growth is not enough. Growth needs to be sideways as well. And there lies Jamshedpur's success. Bhilai and Tatanagar are formidable company towns too. But Jamshedpur remains without parallel. The city is one of those private efforts which stands out. It is a contrast to the uncontrolled chaos of the Indian urban growth story. It's a tricky game to create a livable, sustainable atmosphere, to provide employment and livelihood, to build that feeling of community and togetherness. Like all people whose parents worked in the armed forces have a sense of belonging, so do those who grew up in and around company towns. While the Tatas are the main employers, other industries and communities have grown around Jamshedpur. People from all over the country flocked here to work, to live, and add to the rich fabric of the town. Over the years, Jamshedpur has grown well and stood strong. From being part of Bihar and Orissa province, it became part of Bihar post-independence. It is now a part of Jharkhand. It has institutions like XLRI and the National Institute of Technology. It has the JRD Tata Sports Complex, the Tata Football Academy, Tata Steel Adventure Foundation, and the Keenan Stadium. It has golf courses and a flying club too. Just thinking about how a village grew into this magnificent town just blows my mind. And all of it is due to the efforts of the Tata Group and its visionary founder, Sir Jamsetji Tata. That is something you'll only understand if you visit this unique town. You've been watching a century of stories brought to you by IDFC FIRST Bank. Always you first. I'll see you next week to tell you yet another story. This one is about how India joined the space race.
IVM